were a painting, people would say it wasn't real. That the artist had imagined it.
The announcement that Outlander would be wrapping up with Season 8 has left fans with mixed emotions: sadness, excitement, and a deep sense of uncertainty. After all, it feels like just yesterday we were introduced to Jamie and Claire, two characters whose love story transcended time, geography, and every imaginable obstacle. Over the years, we've watched them fight for survival, grapple with loss, and battle forces that were as much internal as they were external. But now, with the final season in front of us, the journey is coming to its inevitable end. For a show that's given us time travel, dramatic wars, betrayals, and life-or-death moments, Season 8 seems to promise even more emotional rollercoaster. What we know for sure is that the road ahead won't be asterisk. If there's one thing Outlander has mastered over its 8 seasons, it's the art of shocking revelations. Season 8 promises to deliver on that front like never before. The mysteries of the past continue to haunt Jamie and Claire Fraser, but none have left us more stunned than the return of a figure thought to be lost forever: their daughter, Faith. For years, the loss of Faith has been one of the most painful, heartbreaking threads in Claire's journey, a mother's grief that never quite healed, a memory that lingered like a shadow over her every decision, her every step. The moment that still echoes in our minds is the devastation Claire felt when she believed her child had died in France. We saw her anguish, her helplessness, and the impact it had on her marriage to Jamie, who, despite his own demons, tried to hold them both together. But in the most unexpected twist, Season 8 brings this loss back into play, turning the page on the past and raising even more questions. Enter Fanny PCO, a young girl who sings a lullaby that Claire once sang to Faith, a lullaby that was meant for a daughter who no longer walked the earth. The same lullaby that somehow reverberates through time, creating a bridge between the past and present. In that brief moment, the story of Faith is no longer just a memory. It's a living, breathing mystery. And with it, the door to a future neither Claire nor Jamie ever imagined. The reveal of Fanny's existence opens a floodgate of emotions, confusion, and hope. Could Faith truly have survived? If so, why wasn't this truth shared with Jamie and Claire sooner? For years, they've carried the weight of their daughter's death, believing their hearts had been broken beyond repair. But now, with this new twist, that pain may just give way to something even more complicated. The possibility of their daughter's survival raises 1,000 more questions than it answers. Who knew? And why keep such a monumental secret hidden for so long? We can't help but feel the emotional weight of this revelation through Claire's eyes. After everything she's been through, after the trauma of the war, her trials, and her near-death experiences, this is the last thing she expected. The presence of Fanny forces Claire to confront a past she thought she had buried. And for Jamie, the shock is just as powerful. The man who has fought wars, faced impossible odds, and seen his own family torn apart is now standing face to face with the possibility that his daughter never died. That hope, long thought gone, is back, and with it, a chance to rebuild everything they lost. But is it too late? And then there's Master Raymond, a character shrouded in mystery and intrigue. The enigmatic healer who has always walked the line between reality and the supernatural has returned in Claire's dream, giving us an eerie hint about Faith's fate. That dream sequence is not just a passing moment of fantasy, it's leading us to the truth. Was it really just a dream? Or did Master Raymond have a hand in faking Faith's death? There's a certain otherworldly quality to his apology in Claire's vision, as if he's guiding her toward an answer that has eluded them for years. What if, in Season 8, we see Master Raymond's role in this? The behind-the-scenes whispers suggest that we'll get a flashback sequence that will show us exactly how he orchestrated Faith's survival. If that's true, it would change everything we thought we knew about the series. The very fabric of the Fraser family is built on the foundation of tragedy. And yet, with this new twist, the story seems to be moving in an unexpected direction, toward hope, toward healing, and possibly toward the restoration of what was once lost. But just how much of the past will they have to uncover to finally find peace? This new revelation isn't just a plot device. It's a catalyst for everything that's about to unfold in the final chapters of Outlander. What was once a painful scar in Claire and Jamie's hearts is now a puzzle piece that could either complete their story or shatter it completely. And as always, with Outlander, nothing is ever as simple as it seems. The road ahead is paved with secrets, and this new discovery is just the beginning. So, As we move toward the conclusion of this epic saga, we're left to wonder, will Faith's return be the key to unlocking a future Claire and Jamie never imagined? Or will it complicate their already tumultuous lives even more? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain, the emotional stakes have never been higher. And the journey to the final countdown is about to take us places we never saw coming. When we think of Outlander, one of the most complicated relationships throughout the series has always been the friendship between Jamie Fraser and Lord John Grey. It's not your typical bond woven with mutual respect, undeniable loyalty, and yet shadowed by moments of betrayal and heartbreak. As we enter season 8, the once solid foundation of their friendship has crumbled, and what remains is a fragile, broken connection that feels irreparable. The events that transpired at the end of season 7 when Lord John married Claire, believing Jamie to be dead, set the stage for one of the most gut-wrenching conflicts we've ever seen between the two men. To say it was a betrayal would be an understatement. For Lord John, it was a desperate attempt to hold on to Claire, someone he deeply cares for, someone who has always been a part of his heart. For Jamie, this wasn't just a simple betrayal. It was a wound that cut through the very core of his identity. To believe that the man he considered a friend, a brother in arms, would marry his wife, even if under the belief that Jamie was gone. It's something no one could easily forgive. The fallout from this is not just emotional, it's visceral. You can feel the tension whenever these two are in the same room. Lord John, ever the diplomat, has always tried to maintain a sense of honor, but the guilt of his actions weighs heavily on him. On the other hand, Jamie's feelings are a whirlwind of anger, betrayal, and confusion. But what complicates things even further is the undeniable bond between him and Lord John, a connection that has spanned years of shared history. These two have fought together, laughed together, and we've seen them both evolve into men of great complexity. Yet, now, when faced with the ultimate test, their relationship is on the verge of collapse. What makes this tension even more intense is the uncertainty surrounding their future. How can they move forward from here? Can Jamie ever truly forgive Lord John for what happened? And can Lord John reconcile the fact that, while his feelings for Claire are deep and real, he has irreparably harmed his friendship with Jamie in the process? These are the questions that hang in the air like a dark cloud, threatening to suffocate any hope of healing between them. And then there's the possibility of sacrifice. Rumors have been swirling about the potential for Lord John to make the ultimate sacrifice in order to regain Jamie's trust. The thought of him laying down his life for Jamie, of offering up his own existence to right the wrongs that have torn their bond apart, feels both noble and tragic. It's a sacrifice that could restore some semblance of honor between them. But it's also a painful reality that could leave both men broken in ways we can't even predict. The emotional stakes here are massive. And this conflict is not just about two men, it's about the weight of their past choices and the cost of their actions. Every word, every gesture, every decision carries the burden of history, of loyalty, and of a love that's been tested time and time again. It's a dramatic evolution of the relationship that has captured our attention from the very beginning. That as we head into the final season, we're left with one burning question. Will Jamie and Lord John ever find a way to heal, or will their fractured bond remain one of the greatest tragedies of Outlander? Whatever happens, we can't ignore the fact that this heart-wrenching fallout is just one more piece of the puzzle that will shape the final chapters of their saga. The question of forgiveness, of redemption, and of whether their friendship can survive the wounds of the past will continue to haunt both characters and us, the audience, right up until the final, heartbreaking moments. There's no easy way to wrap up a story as complicated as theirs, but if Outlander has taught us anything, it's that nothing is ever as straightforward as it seems. The journey may be painful, but in the end, it's the resolution of these complex relationships that will give us the closure we've been craving. Or perhaps, in typical Outlander fashion, the answers we seek will only bring more questions, as if the emotional turmoil of their personal lives weren't enough. Outlander Season 8 throws the Fraser family back into the heart of one of the most tumultuous periods in history, the American Revolutionary War. The backdrop of war has always been integral to the Outlander series, but this time, it's different. The stakes are higher, the battlefields are bloodier, and for Claire and Jamie, every step forward feels like a gamble with fate. We saw in Season 7 how deeply the war affected Jamie, not just as a soldier, but as a man torn between duty and love. When he took up arms for the American cause, it was not just for a political stance, but for the survival of his family and the future they hoped to build. But being on the battlefield, wielding a sniper rifle for a cause he wasn't entirely certain of, took a toll on him in ways that we have yet to fully comprehend. The weight of the war has worn Jamie down, and the scars, both visible and invisible, are starting to show. It's not just the physical toll that's wearing on him, though. It's the emotional burden of knowing that his every move, every decision, could lead to the end of everything he holds dear. The war is not just a fight for independence, it's a fight for survival. Every battle, every conflict, and every decision takes them one step closer to the final inevitable confrontation. The brutal reality of war is something that Jamie, who has fought in countless battles before, is now forced to reckon with in ways he never imagined. But the true tragedy lies in the fact that Claire, the woman he loves, is right there alongside him, wounded, vulnerable, and still carrying the weight of the trauma from her own harrowing experiences. Season 7 saw Claire at her breaking point, standing trial for a crime she didn't commit and enduring unimaginable pain. The war has already taken so much from her physically, emotionally, and mentally. And as the series moves toward its conclusion, we are left to wonder, how much more can they both endure? And then, just as we thought things couldn't get any worse, the lullaby from Season 7 changes everything. The sound of it echoes across time, taking us back to a moment that Claire thought she had lost forever. The haunting melody is more than just a memory. It's a symbol of hope, a spark of possibility in a world that feels as though it's crumbling around them. The revelation that their daughter, Faith, may have survived this long is a game changer. It opens up a whole new set of questions about the timeline, about what could have been, and about how their past actions will shape their future. Could this mysterious twist hold the key to survival? Could it be the catalyst that brings Claire and Jamie back together, both in body and in spirit? While the war rages on, Claire and Jamie's love story becomes intertwined with the very fabric of the revolution. The line between personal survival and national struggle has never been so blurred. Every time they look into each other's eyes, they are reminded not only of the pain they've suffered, but also of the deep bond that has survived against all odds. The physical war around them may be the stage for their struggle, but the internal war they face fighting to keep their love intact. To find meaning in the midst of chaos is what truly defines their journey. In the end, it's clear that Outlander has always been more than just a story about history. It's a story about survival, love, and the resilience of the human spirit. And as Season 8 marches toward its final moments, we are left to wonder whether the Frasers will emerge from this war stronger or more broken. Will the love they've fought for survive the final battle? Or will the war, along with the devastating personal losses, finally tear them apart for good? As we near the conclusion of this epic journey, the question becomes more pressing. How much can one couple endure before they break? The war, the secrets, the betrayals, this all leading up to something monumental, and we can only hold our breath and wait for the final act. What will the ultimate cost be? And will Jamie and Claire have enough left to continue the fight for their love, for their family, and for their survival? As Outlander draws near to its final chapter, we are left with a sense of profound loss. Not just for the characters we've followed for so many years, but for the world they've built around us. It's almost impossible to put into words what the series has meant to us, the viewers, who have journeyed with Jamie and Claire through every trial, every triumph, every heartbreak. But now, as we stand on the brink of the series finale, we must prepare ourselves for a goodbye that will resonate far beyond the final credits. The closing moments of Outlander have always been a balancing act between love and loss, hope and despair. And in Season 8, this delicate balance is set to come crashing down in a way that will leave us all breathless. The Frasers' journey, filled with the grandness of history, the intimacy of their relationship, and the constant struggle for survival, is about to reach its emotional peak. The decisions they make in this final season will not just shape their fates, they will define the legacy of Outlander itself. The looming specter of their partying hangs over every interaction, every glance exchanged between Jamie and Claire. In the teaser we were given, Jamie's words cut through the air with brutal finality, "And the day shall come that we do part. If my last words are not, 'I love you,' it's because I didn't have time." The words, simple yet so powerful, remind us of the one truth that has always driven their story. No matter how much time they have together, it will never be enough. Whether it's the trials of the past, the wars they've fought, or the heartbreaks they've endured, Jamie and Claire's love has always been the foundation of this story. And as their time together reaches its end, we know that their final moments will be both beautiful and devastating. But even in the face of such a heartbreaking goodbye, there's something unmistakably hopeful about their journey. Despite everything, the war, the loss of family, the betrayals, and the endless suffering, they have never given up on each other. And in their final moments, their love will be the light that guides them through the darkest of times. Whether they part in this life or the next, their bond is unbreakable. The promise of "I love you" will echo across the centuries, transcending time and space, and giving them a peace that has long eluded them. And while Outlander may be nearing its end, the world it has created will live on in our hearts. The prequel series Blood of My Blood promises to carry on the legacy of the Fraser family, diving into the stories of Jamie's parents and Claire's ancestors. It's a beautiful reminder that even as one chapter closes, another begins. But even so, the emotional toll of saying goodbye to Jamie and Claire is one we won't soon forget. The love story that has captured our hearts for years is coming to a close, and it's almost impossible to imagine a world without them. As the series finale draws closer, the weight of every loss, every moment of joy, and every sacrifice will hit us all at once. The Frasers, who have faced every conceivable hardship, will finally face the ultimate test. Will love survive the test of time? Will they find peace? Or will their final chapter be as tragic as it is beautiful? No matter how the story ends, one thing is certain. Outlander has given us a love story like no other. And in that, we will find our solace. So, as we prepare to say goodbye, we can take comfort in the fact that their journey will remain with us, forever etched in the fabric of our memories. Jamie and Claire Fraser's love will live on in every heart that has been touched by their story. The final countdown is upon us, and the end may be near. But the legacy of Outlander of love, of family, and of survival against all odds will never fade.